guys? It's the Chook Man here once again, and Hogan. Say hello, Hogan, to all the people out there in YouTube land. Say hello. My name's Hogan. Good boy. That's the reason why I get up in the morning to feed that little man there, because without animals in my life, I'd be stuffed. Thank God for animals. All right, so I'm going to be telling you another little story about the Chook Man's life, starting when I just turned 17. Now, you're still a teenager, you're not mature enough in the brain to be working out a lot of stuff in your head. And don't forget, guys, I was a chronic alcoholic. So I got a job up the bush in Jerilderie. I don't know if people know where Jerilderie is, but you can look it up. It's about 4 hours away in Jerilderie, up near Ned Kelly's land. Ned Kelly used to go and rob banks in Jerilderie and float around Jerilderie, Berrigan, New South Wales, all up there. That's Ned Kelly's land. I say that because that's where Ned Kelly used to ride his bush rangers and all that around there, and all the bank robbers. Interesting country. So I'm 17. I've just landed a job that I've always wanted. I love animals, so I've always loved horses. So I was working with horses. I was working for a mob that had needed a stable hand, and I got the job. So I just turned 17 and I started the job. I was getting up at 4 o'clock every morning, getting all the horses ready. I would get the saddles put on them, get them ready for the jockeys, and the jockeys would take them out and race them around the track, and then they'd come back. I'd take the saddle off them, I'd hose them all down, wash them, dry them, put their rug back on them and put them back in the stable and feed them. So this one particular day I did this, and got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The boss was getting ready for a country race. He got all his horses ready. We went to a country race, and the race started around about 9 o'clock. Don't forget, I'd already been up since 4 o'clock, and it was a very, very long day. The boss won a couple of races with his horses, so we'd been up since 4 o'clock that morning, and he decided to shout us all down to the pub to Jerilderie. I nearly forgot, because of my brain injuries, where the pub was. Jerilderie. So we all went back after that, around about 3 o'clock, to the pub. Hang on, Hoax. And stupid me, because I was only a teenager, young and silly, wasn't too smart, wasn't too bright. I got pissed, and you know what happens when people get drunk. You know, they say silly things and do stupid things. They don't think before they open their mouth, like I did. Anyway, I paid the ultimate price. I upset someone in the pub, and when the pub shut about 6 or 7, I think it was 8 o'clock when the pub actually shut, two guys, this is what the police record said, and the hospital told me in the report that two people in their 50s had assaulted me, bashed me, and left me in the gutter to die in Jerilderie. Now, in that assault, I had bleeding on the brain, in the back of the brain. I had a cracked pelvis. I had a cracked shoulder, and two black eyes. So they really gave it to me good. And they found me. The street sweeper found me in the morning, bleeding out my nose, my ear, and my mouth. He rang an ambulance. They came and picked me up from Jerilderie, and they took me to Jerilderie Hospital, and they found out that my injuries were too bad for that hospital. They didn't have the right equipment to keep me alive. By this time, I was fading in and out of a conscious. I'd stopped breathing on a couple of times. I was in really bad shape. So they decided to fly me from Jerilderie, which is 4 hours away, air ambulance on a helicopter, from Jerilderie all the way to Royal Melbourne Hospital. Landed on the heliport on Royal Melbourne Hospital. they rushed me into Royal Melbourne and started working with me. Then I had to learn, after they had me for months, I had to learn how to speak properly. I couldn't speak and I couldn't walk because of my brain injury. So I had died on a couple of times. They brought me back to life. I was in really bad shape, but my brain really copped the worst out of the beating. Now, no one, people say some stupid, and this is the way I see it. People say some stupid things, but when you're a 17-year-old kid, teenager that wouldn't know shit from clay, give him a smack in the mouth and tell him to shut up, but don't belt him like they did to me. They belted me and half killed me. There's no need for that. Do you know what I mean? And especially being a 50-year-old man compared to a 17-year-old boy, that doesn't sit well with me. Anyway, so getting back to what happened to me in hospital, I had to go to rehabilitation to learn to talk properly. I couldn't because of my bleeding on the brain and having multiple brain injuries at the time. I was stuffed. I couldn't even feed myself. That's how bad I was. So I've come a long way in my life. I've learnt a lot of valuable things now. So now I just live a quiet life. So getting back to the hospital, I had to stay in there for 2 years. I had to go to rehabilitation. I still have troubles sometimes talking properly. That's because of my ongoing brain injury that I suffered from that assault. But I'm heaps better than I was, because when I was 17 I couldn't get 2 words together and didn't know anything. I couldn't. My anger was bad. So it's pretty shocking life that I've led, as you've all gathered. But now I just want to be happy and live life to the fullest and enjoy life. Because you know what? We're here today, gone tomorrow, and we never, ever, ever know what's around the corner. So that's another story of the Chook man growing up, trying to work hard, trying to get some money to save up for his own house, and hit hard times. Even when he was working, trying to make $1 for himself, he got himself into a lot of shit. And you know what, guys? It was all to do with alcohol and being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm a strong believer now. If I wasn't drunk and I wasn't in the place at the time drinking alcohol, being a dickhead, I wouldn't have got bashed. But it is what it is, and you've got to make do with what you've got now. And I've been clean for 13 years. I'll never touch alcohol again, and the next person that tries to lay one on me I'm not gonna stand for it. And I'm dead against violence, but I will stand up for my rights. Alright guys, as I always say, keep out of the sun, be kind to yourself, and try to have a nice day. And there'll be more stories of the Chook man's life. Interesting stories. I find them very interesting, because I should have died when those guys bashed me, but I'm here telling my story to all you people on YouTube land. Alright guys, all the best, and I'll talk to you soon.